Let's see, is there sound?
Let's see, is there sound?
Yes. Okay, good. The sound is being picked up. I don't want to make that mistake again. We have a new strategy today. We have someone else hosting today. So I decided to turn on the light for this, because I figured we might not actually need to dim the lights for this. Like, it looks fine. You might have a little bit of lens glare, like at the very top left corner. But for the most part, it seems fine. So I think I'm gonna leave the lights on for this. It's funny, we kind of came full circle. When we were on the 3DS, we dimmed the light so it looked better. Now, we turned on the light. Okay, the last person was having internet problems. Seems like that person's still not connecting. There we go. I just hope this person doesn't disconnect. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm player 3, so for this, I take Golduck. Is this loud enough? You know what, I should probably check the audio, make sure. Because, I'm still adjusting, like, what's too loud, what's not loud enough. So, go for Pelipper, obviously, for Zygarde. Okay, give me a second, let me double check the audio, make sure it's okay. So the guide is telling me to do Mega Kick. Okay. So right now I'm testing the audio with headphones on, and it sounds okay. Like the game audio to my voice portions sound decent enough. Let me check again without headphones on, like through the speaker. Let's see how that sounds.
Let's see how that sounds. Let's see how that sounds. Let's see how that sounds.
I really can barely hear it. Whatever, it basically confirms right now the game audio's not too loud. Okay, so I don't believe I swap here. Player 2 swaps, so Toxtricity gets swapped. Makes sense. Very weak to ground. So now we go for Torkoal. And I am supposed to Dynamax here. So, CinemaCon was a couple of days ago. We got the official teaser trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Really couldn't help but notice they were really avoiding showing us Toy Chica in the trailer. Because they know that's exactly what we want to see. All in all, I'm hoping the second movie is going to be better than the first one. Something interesting to think is, like, it looks like the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 location with all the toy animatronics is gonna be, you know, a sequel to this film universe. Because remember, in the games, it's actually a prequel. It happened before the first game's location. It looks like that's gonna be backwards for the movies. We'll just have to wait and see. It comes out December. Is it December this year or next year? It might be this year. I think it is this year. So I did grind a little bit for ore again. Just a little bit. Just in case, you know, we run out of people hosting and I gotta host myself. Just in case. Okay, does anyone swap for Torkoal? Okay, no one swaps. Oh man, there's a big ass instruction here. Player 3 swaps with Scientist. Best item is wide lens if possible. Okay, so Scientist is after this. So I swap, and then we battle Coffagrigus. Turn 1 Screech, turn 2 Assurance. So do I swap for a Diglett? Like, what has Screech and Assurance? I'm thinking Tauros has Assurance, but Tauros doesn't have Screech. What does have Screech and Assurance? I'm sure I'll find out in just a moment. Okay, so we have a lot to talk about today. However, before I start talking about all the stuff today, I first want to mention something that, you know, I discovered about myself. Not really much of... That's not the proper way to phrase it, but however, that's the best way for me to phrase it. Oh, Liepard. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I see. Okay, let's see. Is there a wide lens? Please. No. I guess this against Zygarde, just in case. So, something I realized is this as a fact. The fact that nobody listens to me. You're gonna hear that and think, oh geez, what are you gonna tell us next? That the sky is blue? Like, no shit, genius. But what do I mean by that? So, you guys know that the show Severance is airing. It's a very popular show, I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. I myself have not seen it yet. Season 2 finished airing a little while ago. A friend of mine actually is watching it, And he highly recommends it, just like everyone else on the internet is highly recommending Severance. So, you know, I hear a lot of good things about it. My friend is recommending it to me. I'm thinking, maybe it's worth giving it a shot. I don't really know anything about the show. All I know is it's really popular and supposedly really good. Maybe I'll give it a shot. And then it hit me. It hit me that, wow, nobody listens to me when I give the exact same suggestion. Like, what kind of shows do I constantly suggest to everyone that nobody listens to? Nobody listens to me when I suggest these shows. Well, I suggest some decent shows that I like watching, or at least, you know, I think that they're decent shows. I think they're pretty good shows. You know, shows I've been recommending like Walking Dead, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., a couple of other shows. However, nobody listens to me. Nobody ever takes my recommendation. You know, everybody probably just sees like, ooh, 11 seasons of Walking Dead? Nah, that's too much. Oh, 7 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. plus gotta watch a bunch of movies to understand the tie-ins? Oh, no, too much. So, like, nobody ever listens to me whenever I recommend shows. And, you know, those who do, like a certain someone, watches 2 seasons or 1 season or whatever and then just drops the show entirely. So, yeah, nobody listens to me. I listen. That's like the only thing I can ever do right in this lifetime is listen when people tell me things. So, you guys have seen before. You guys have heard me discuss shows. A good majority of them are shows that I was recommended. I was recommended From. I was recommended Invincible. I was recommended... what was the other one? What was the other one? There was another one I was recommended. Man, what was it? There was another one I was recommended. There was a bunch of animes I was recommended too. You know what? I don't need the expert belt. I have nothing super effective. What do I do? I turn 1 Screech, turn 1 and 2 Screech, turn 3 Play Rough. No, I think I'll keep the muscle band. Or no, whatever I'm holding right now. Anyways, you get the point. A lot of shows that... Oh, The Boys. That's it. You know, I was recommended The Boys. Granted, I'm not done the show yet, but I'm still watching it, aren't I? So, a good number of shows I was recommended. I actually am watching through them. However, whenever I recommend shows to someone else, or everyone else, nobody ever listens to me. You know? And, well, just like everything else and everyone else in my life, suck it up. Too bad. Deal with it. That's what I get told all the time whenever something doesn't go my way. Too bad. Life's not fair, people. And, you know, I get it. The shows I watch that I recommend is a much bigger... You know, a much bigger ask than the shows that I've been recommended, you know? Walking Dead is 11 seasons, plus, how many now? 6 spin-offs? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. being 7 seasons, a bunch of movie tie-ins, because yes, it is canon, I will not hear otherwise. Invincible, only has 3 seasons at the moment. Season 4 hasn't started yet. And won't start for a long time as of this moment, so it's not that much content to watch. Same thing with The Boys. At this moment, only 4 seasons. Season 5 hasn't started yet. So it's not as much content. Content? It's not as much content as 11 seasons of Walking Dead plus spin-offs. It's not as much content as 7 seasons plus a couple of movies. Or not even a couple, a lot of movies. I'm only trying to get others to enjoy good content and try to get them to enjoy it to the fullest. Like, if you're gonna watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., why not understand the movie tie-ins while you're going through the show? Like, are you ever going to rewatch it with the movies? Probably not. So why not, while you're first going through it, just understand everything? So yeah, nobody ever listens to me. A lot of people think that the shows I recommend either lame, they suck, they're too long. I don't know if you heard that. Ignore that. So yeah, that's my point. Nobody ever listens to me. I always listen to everyone else whenever they suggest something for me to watch, but nobody does the same for me. Alright, now let me tell you something else that will immediately make me sound like a hypocrite. Oh! Look at that! A shiny Pelipper! First run, too! Nice! Actually, I've gotten a lot of shiny Pokemon today. Like, a lot of shiny Pokemon. Earlier today, I actually got a shiny Kartana from Dynamax Adventures. Not on this file. I was grinding ore on my other file. The same file you saw me hunt the original Zygarde on. Because I have so much ore on that file left, I wanna hunt other things on there, and I figured just to pass the time, let's hunt for, well, not hunt, let's grind for some ore. By the way, I traded everything to my other Switch, so none of these are shiny. And by the way, here's how much ore I have now. So aside from shiny Pelipper just now, and shiny Kartana, today I also got shiny Cresselia in my original Ultra Sun. I got a shiny Burmy in Pokemon Go, as well as the fact that today was Mega Audino Raid Day, and I got 1 shiny Audino. Final raid of the day, I got 1 shiny Audino. I've been getting really lucky with the shiny legendaries on my original Ultra Sun. At this point, I've almost gotten them basically daily. Hold on, let me pull up the list of when I got these shinies, because you're not gonna believe me when I tell you the dates I got these. Just give me a second. Alright, let's see. I got Articuno in Japan. Articuno I got the 6th of March. And then I wasn't able to charge my 3DS in Hong Kong, so I had to wait until I got home. So I got Shiny Zapdos on the 21st of March. Shiny Moltres I got on the 23rd of March. Mewtwo, 24th of March. Let's see, Suicune took a little bit. Suicune I got on the 31st of March. Oh, wait, no. Is that right? No, that's the wrong Suicune. Hold on. Because I also recently got Suicune in Dynamax Adventures. Wait, where is that Suicune? Hold on, there's so much here. Huh, maybe I forgot to write it down. I think I may have forgotten to write it down, unless this is it. No, because I did get a shiny Suicune in Dynamax Adventures. Whatever. I forgot to write down shiny Suicune's date, so I'll have to do that after. Regirock I got 31st of March. Regice and Registeel 1st of April. Uxie 2nd of April. Mesprit 3rd of April. Azelf 4th of April. As well, oh, by the way, that Azelf was actually the very first reset of the day. And then later, that same day, being yesterday, the 4th of April, I also got shiny Giratina. So, 4th of April, I got both Azelf and Giratina. Today, 5th of April, I got shiny Cresselia. So I've gotten them almost daily, for the most part. Pretty lucky. I'm actually hunting for, Cobalion right now. Nope. All I know is I'm not supposed to take it. Okay, that's fine. I think that was who was supposed to swap anyways. So yeah, lots of shiny Pokemon today. Anyway, so let me get back to that point. I was about to say something that would immediately make me sound like a hypocrite. So I've been recommended to watch One Piece. Yeah. Like, can you blame me for actually feeling overwhelmed by the fact that One Piece has over 1,000 episodes? 1,000 episodes. Granted, each episode is like just about 20 minutes long, 22 to 25, I think. Oh boy, the order is all messed up. I can't Dynamax here. Oh wait, the person hosting his internet crashed. Oh. Well, it's okay. As long as we have Zygarde and Ice, we should be fine. Okay, let's do a comparison real quick. The Walking Dead has 177 episodes. Okay? And each episode is average an hour. Some episodes are like hour and a half, some are, 50 minutes, So, average an hour. So, 177 times 60 minutes, 10,620. Okay? One Piece episodes are around 22 minutes, so let's say 20 minutes. You can watch 3 episodes of One Piece for every 1 episode of The Walking Dead. And, this Google results right now, currently 1,122 divide by 3. That is the length of 374 Walking Dead episodes. That is more than double The Walking Dead's entire length. Like, main show, I mean. If I were to watch all of One Piece, it would be more than twice as long as The Walking Dead. Do you understand how overwhelming that is? Like, yes, I know I keep saying people are always like, bro, your show is too long, 11 seasons? But come on, 1,000 episodes of One Piece. Let's say I go simple. Let's say I go slow. One episode of One Piece a day. Alright, so let's see. 1,122 divided by 365. 3.07. It'll take me over 3 years to finish it. If I watched an episode of Walking Dead a day, that's not even 1 year. If I went one episode of One Piece a day until I'm all caught up, it would take more than 3 years. Okay, fine. How about I watch 3 episodes a day to actually match, you know, just 1 hour length of content? Okay, so let's see. 374. So that take me just about 1 year. Just over 1 year. Like, can you blame me for feeling overwhelmed? If I were to start One Piece, like, that's a lot. That's more than anything I've ever watched. We're not talking 11 seasons of The Walking Dead. We're not talking 10 seasons of Smallville. We are talking 1,000 episodes. And, you know, like I said before, I would indeed start from the very beginning and watch every single episode until I'm caught up. Because none of that, you don't need to watch anything before to understand bullshit. No, none of that. I don't care if, you know, I don't know how the One Piece anime is structured. Maybe it's like Pokemon, where every region, it's its own self-contained story. Like, you don't need to watch the Hoenn region storyline to understand the Unova region storyline. That's not even the region after. You know what I mean. You don't need to watch Ash's adventures in Sinnoh to understand his adventures in Unova. That kind of thing, right? Maybe it's structured like that. I don't know. Like, for the most part. Sure, there might be callbacks and flashbacks and character cameos, right? But for the most part, in Pokemon, you don't need to watch the series prior to understand a different one, right? For the most part. So I don't know if One Piece is like that. However, even if it is like that, I still wouldn't do that. I would watch every episode from beginning to end. I don't care if majority of the episodes are filler. I will watch every single one if I were to start One Piece. Like, I don't care if, quote-unquote, I don't need to watch this part to understand this part. Like, you might understand the reference, but you don't need to watch it before. Like, I don't care. I will watch it. So, yeah, like, nobody ever listens to me, and yet I get recommended to watch One Piece, and can you really blame me for feeling overwhelmed? 1,000 episodes. That's double the runtime for the entire Walking Dead show. And also, I don't have time to watch that many episodes. Even if I were to do one episode a day, I have a lot of other stuff to watch as well, and you know this. I have a whole list of other things I have yet to watch. Oh, it's not the biggest deal that the first player took Rodriguez. You know, earlier today, because my sister is right now on a trip to Korea, earlier today my sister sent a picture of her at a restaurant, a BTS themed restaurant. There are BTS posters everywhere, all over the walls, even stuck on the ceiling as well. And the restaurant, I don't know if it's like a Korean barbecue place or a hot pot place. First thing I notice is that place is a mega fire hazard. There are sheets of paper everywhere. Like literally the entire wall is covered in posters and paper, so is the ceiling. And to have an open fire type of restaurant? Like that place is a huge fire hazard. I'll do another screech. So anyways, got all that out of the way. Because remember, I have a lot of other shows to watch too. I still have the rest of The Boys to watch, the rest of From to watch, maybe considering starting Severance. I still have other shows that I forgot to watch, like the Ted series, as well as Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, whatever it's called, because I forgot to watch that. So like, yeah, a lot of stuff to watch. Oh, you know what? Speaking of shows, speaking of other shows, so something happened last night. Last night, of all things, Gotham Knights Instagram page posted again. After not posting for almost 2 years, because the show was canceled almost 2 years ago. So you would think that the show being canceled and dead, you would think that the Instagram page would follow suit. The Instagram page would also be dead. However, whoever's running that page, someone posted on the CW Gotham Knights account again, which was really out of nowhere. And then I just saw in the comments, like, we really need a season 2, you know? I miss these characters so much. Now, you've heard me say before, I actually liked the show. I actually enjoyed what I saw, despite the fact that it was pretty woke, and the fact that it relates almost nothing to the source material, Gotham Knights. However, for what I actually saw, I didn't hate it. I did not hate what I was watching. So, you know, it's disappointing for me. Can't believe someone's actually saying that. It's actually disappointing that Gotham Knights was canceled and we're not getting a season 2. However, you know, I'll live. I'll live, you know? To my surprise, in the comments, a decent number of people were saying the same thing, like, we need a season 2, I miss these characters. The storyline actually wasn't that bad. I'm surprised to see so many others actually, quote-unquote, enjoying the show like I did. You know, like I said, the show is with its faults. And that's another thing, too. All the shows I recommend, nothing's perfect. No show is perfect, right? So whenever my friends actually give my shows a watch, like a certain someone who quit Walking Dead after 2 seasons, or a certain other friend of mine who quit like halfway into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, well, it's like, no show is perfect, you know? If you just bear through all the quote-unquote bad, you'll get to the good stuff. But nope, nobody wants to give it a chance. I mean, hey, I'm watching From, aren't I? But yeah, to my surprise, the Gotham Knights Instagram account posted again. Makes me think, could there potentially be talks behind the scenes for another network to pick it up? That would be insane, really. Like, actually. I will say, like, as shocking as this is to say, I feel like Gotham Knights has more redeeming qualities than potentially Batwoman. And especially Naomi. That show was absolutely terrible. It was horrible. Now, I will actually not recommend anyone watch Gotham Knights. Because if I do, everyone's gonna laugh at me, and I can't blame you. The show is woke, and the show is nothing like the source material. I can't blame anyone for not wanting to watch this. Like, I honestly can't. It's not like me recommending Walking Dead and no one wants to watch. If I recommend Gotham Knights and nobody wants to listen to me, it's like, yeah, I can't blame you there. So it's like, I will not be recommending anyone watch Gotham Knights unless you're actually curious and have an open mind. Although, why would you bother? Because the show is 1 season long and cancelled. But anyways, you get what I'm saying, right? Like, I don't blame anyone for not watching Gotham Knights. Okay, so now that all that, you know, jabbering is out of the way, okay, so what do I have to talk about today? Well, if I'm not mistaken, I owe you guys a discussion for the rest of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I only watched up to and discussed episode 2. 1, because it was really hard to find online. And 2, I decided, let me hold off. Let me hold off on the show. When I get Disney Plus to rewatch Daredevil for Born Again, I'll watch Spider-Man at the same time. So, I have the rest of the episodes to go through. I believe I only made it up to episode 2 before. Because I remember talking about the fact that Norman Osborn found out Peter's secret and he's just like, so, you're Spider-Man. So I only talked about the first 2 episodes. I have not talked about episode 3 and up. So that's what we have to talk about today. Alright, so Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Episode 3. I also do not like the title of this show, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. It's too long. It's too long. Like, if I'm texting someone like, yo, I'm watching episode 3 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, that's a lot for me to type out. I don't like how long the title is. So, episode 3, Peter has to deal with the aftermath of Norman Osborn finding out that he is Spider-Man. Now, I do also have to go based off a memory of the episodes as well as the descriptions on Wikipedia. Because, you know, I saw the episodes weeks ago. I was actually debating. Do I buy another month of Disney Plus so that I can have the episode up in front of me and I skim through it to remind myself of what happened? And also, buy another month of Disney Plus for the last 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. I was actually debating, do I buy another month of Disney Plus? But then I remembered it's Disney. So then I decided, no. I'm not giving Disney any more money. Because I actually bought a month of Disney Plus for the trip. I bought it for the sake of convenience so I can download the Daredevil episodes for me to rewatch on the plane in preparation for Born Again. And my Disney Plus month is up. I debated, another month? That's right, Disney. No. You know, a little bit of news came out. Disney actually has put on ice a live-action Tangled remake. Thanks to how terrible Snow White has performed. Oh my god. Imagine Disney ruining Tangled. Please take it, thank you. Imagine that. Disney ruined Tangled. Knowing Disney's track record, Rapunzel probably would have been black. And you know, who knows? Maybe Rapunzel would not have been saved by Eugene. Rapunzel is dreaming about being the leader she always knew she would have been. Blah, 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 all that stupid garbage. You know, it's Hollywood, baby. Weird. So, thank God, Disney did a smart decision and put that project on ice. Disney, if you do it properly, nobody would complain. You cast a white girl to play Rapunzel. You actually do a love story properly. It's not hard, Disney. You give us what we want, we will give you praise and money. So yeah, I was debating another month of Disney Plus. Yeah, no. Not till Disney gets their shit together. Which, who knows? Who knows if they've learned their lesson yet after Snow White? Seems like they may have by icing the live-action Tangled remake. Which, can you believe it's been 15 years since that film came out? Didn't it come out in like 2010? Already 15 years has passed. I remember watching Tangled as a kid and, you know, really enjoying it. Yes, I grew up watching Disney princess movies because I had a sister. You know, she wanted to watch it, so I would also have to watch it. And, you know, I didn't hate them. So anyways, back to Spoodermane. So, episode 3. Let's see. Okay, so episode 3 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Norman Osborn invites Peter to dinner. He actually rents out the whole restaurant. so they can discuss Peter being Spider-Man. Part of me is thinking, well, does the staff work for you as well? Does the waiters and chefs, like, they can hear your conversation. So if you're talking, if Norman Osborn is sitting there talking to a kid like, so, Peter, you're Spider-Man. You have Spider-Man superpowers. You are a superhero. Wouldn't the staff hear them? So, does Norman Osborn own the restaurant? Does the staff work for him? Or did he pay them off and was like, swear to secrecy? Right? So that's what I was thinking. Anyways. So Norman invites Peter to dinner, and, you know, Peter being so, modest? What's the term? He looks at the menu and it's all expensive ass shit. So Peter's just like, oh, no thank you. It's like, wow. I can't possibly make you pay for my meal, especially with these prices, Mr. Osborn. I'll just have water. Norman's just like, please, Peter, I insist. Well, if you insist... Not gonna lie, if I was Peter, I'd do the same thing. Like, hey, Mr. Rich Billionaire Man, you insist. So, okay, I'll be rude to not take you up on your offer. Yeah, I'd do the same thing. At first, I'd be like, whoa, I can't possibly make you pay for this stuff with these prices. And I'll just take this. And, you know, still that whole thing about, like, Peter's a teenager, kids need to eat to grow. Believe me, despite how fat I was and still am now, my dad kept on telling me that. When I was growing up, my dad kept on telling me, you're still growing, you need to eat. Despite the fact that, you know, I was a fat teenager, I was a fat kid. And, you know, the world doesn't like fat people, so I'm just like, no, Dad, I need to lose weight. Yeah, all the good that did, I'm so fat as hell. So they discussed the whole thing about Peter being Spider-Man. Norman Osborn is kind of like, you know, pushing himself into Peter's world, trying to be involved in Peter's Spider-Man-ness. Norman actually reveals that the boy that Peter saved, that Spider-Man saved a little while ago, that was his son, Harry. And that Norman has actually been trying to find Spider-Man to personally thank him. So he narrowed it down to 4 people in all of Queens who could potentially be Spider-Man. And that's who got the internship at Oscorp, Peter being one of them. You know, Peter tries to convince Norman that he's not Spider-Man. It's like someone's pulling a prank on you. Eventually, he just gives up. It's like, yes, okay, you caught me, Mr. Osborn. I'm Spider-Man. What else happened in this episode? So yeah, Norman offers a partnership, you know, Norman being the guy in the chair helping Spider-Man out in the streets, but Peter turns it down, however, still wants to do the internship. Alright, so when it comes to Lonnie finds out that his younger brother has actually been involved with the 110th Street Gang. So then, Lonnie, trying to help his little brother, takes his place instead. Now, that's pretty scary. That's pretty dangerous. Lonnie's got a lot of balls for that. The gang leader's name is Big Donovan, or just Big Don. Pretty scary dude. You know, pretty big guy. Maybe not Kingpin big. So yeah, now Lonnie has joined a street gang in order to help his brother. Alright, so there in this episode there are like two criminals with like high-tech gear doing a robbery. So Peter obviously tries to stop them. But then he doesn't really have the upper hand because they're equipped with pretty good tech. So then Norman hacks his way into Peter's mask, like his earpiece. You know what? I think I'll keep what I have. And, helps him out. Eventually, Peter gets the upper hand, is able to take them down. And then Peter reconsiders the partnership with Norman. And, well, that's pretty much it for episode 3. Like I said, maybe I forgot a couple of small details because I watched these episodes weeks ago, and I'm only basing what I'm talking about off of the Wikipedia summary in front of me, as well as my own memory, so yeah. Forgive me if I miss a couple of details. Alright, so episode 4. So, remember how a certain douchebag friend of mine trying to spite me was saying, hey, that new animated Spider-Man show, I'll check that out. And I had my reservations about that. I'm just like, you didn't watch anything else. So, like, this show kind of mirrors the events of Civil War. So, everything leading up to the Captain America Civil War, anything that gets referenced is fair game. And any sort of references he would not understand. Kind of like in this episode, the first mention of the Sokovia Accords and the fact that the Avengers fought over it. You know, the Sokovia Accords, the thing that tore the Avengers apart? You know, Tony Stark and the feud with the Avengers against the controversial Sokovia Accords. So because the Sokovia Accords is basically like, all superheroes must register, all vigilantes and superheroes need to register, Peter is kind of wondering, like, do I need to do that? So, Peter and Norman Osborn team up. Norman Osborn has now ordered a secret division of Oscorp to help Peter develop a whole bunch of Spider-Man suits. So Peter tries a bunch of suits, and a lot of them don't stick the landing. Let's see, I think there was one suit that had like wings on it, another suit I think was all black. Pretty scary, it made a little kid cry. I forget if it was in this episode. There was one scene where, now that Lonnie has joined the 110th Street Gang, he's just sitting there because now he needs to be there. And he's also trying to do his homework. Big Don is just like, this look like a damn library to you? Like, hey, come on, man. You know he's a young kid, you know he's in high school, and you know he has homework. Why are you giving him a hard time for trying to live his life, do his homework while being here? Like, why are you giving him a hard time for that, man? Well, I think in this episode, yeah, Big Don gives Lonnie a job to do, which is go and pick up food. But the food that Lonnie needs to go pick up is in a rival gang's territory. The Scorpions. Ooh, take a wild guess who runs them. Who leads them. So, Lonnie getting the food, he actually gets chased by, I forget her name. this green hair girl, I forget her name. Later on in the episode, Lonnie gets filled in on, you know, the rival gang, the fact that the Scorpions is run by an absolute lunatic, Mac Gargan. So Lonnie's all pissed about it, like, you sent me into a dangerous enemy's territory, knowingly. Let's see, is Raid up yet? No, not yet. So eventually, you know, after, hold on, let me read this description again. Okay, yeah. So there's a bank robbery in the process, you know, led by a couple of Russian characters. Peter gets a new suit to go apprehend them, and hey, it's the white suit. It's what's basically the Future Foundation suit. And Peter likes this suit. Kind of crazy to think that this Peter Parker, he got the Future Foundation suit even before his classic red and blue suit. Like, you know, that's kind of backwards. So he actually goes and tries to stop the... Wait, did he? Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does try to stop them. I think. I can't remember, because, yeah, the four characters, one of them being who would be Rhino, you know? One of them... Actually, because they're escaping, they get surrounded by cops. One of them, I see her name is Mila. She escapes and promises, I'll be back for you. And she does, later on. So the three others get arrested. And I think Peter helped get them arrested too. I think. I can't remember. So Peter... Now that he has done a good job with his new favorite suit, his new fancy suit, he goes back to Oscorp. You know, takes off his mask, thinking Norman Osborn's alone, but then he doesn't realize, oh crap, Harry Osborn's there too. So Harry now knows Spider-Man's identity. So the one Russian lady, Mila, who escaped, she takes the money that she stole to Otto Octavius. That's the ending for this episode. The fact that we see Otto Octavius at the very end, and that's episode 4. Episode 5, this one, I noticed the title. This one, The Unicorn Unleashed. And because we're dealing with the Russian character, I can already tell. Okay, so we're not getting Rhino, we're getting a quote-unquote variation of that. This character we've been following, and she's going to turn into not a rhino, but the unicorn. Creative. So yeah, Octavius sells Mila a helmet that has a horn that resembles a unicorn, and also it shoots lasers. Very powerful lasers. So they actually have been looking into who sells the technology, because the two criminals that Peter fought a couple episodes ago, they had a bunch of tech that had this branding on it. And then, you know, Norman is looking into it. He discovers that it's Otto Octavius, a former business partner of his, I think, associate. So now they know. They're also trying to find where Otto Octavius is. Well, I think Norman has to leave, so then he makes Harry take his place as the guy in the chair. So anyways, let's see. Mila actually does break all of her fellow inmates out of prison. So Peter has to go and fight with the help of Harry in his ear. So yeah, they're fighting. You know, this person's really strong. Wait, I don't think wait, was it this episode? Was it this episode that they discovered it's Otto Octavius selling them, or is it the next episode? One of these episodes. You know, a part of me was tempted to rewatch these episodes to refresh my memory, but no. Just no. Anyway, so Spider-Man is fighting, quote-unquote, the unicorn. And, well, it's kind of too much for Peter. Until they come up with a plan. Until they come up with the plan, they take down, Mila. However, she actually blasted her attack towards her fellow comrade, the Rhino, knowing that Peter would actually save him. So she banked on his life. So there was a split moment of Spider-Man and Rhino team up. Well, because Peter is now, he took care of the bad guys, he still has time, he arranged to meet up with Nico Minoru, to go and see a movie. And then, out of nowhere, not telling Nico, he also invited Harry Osborn. Let's see, in terms of Lonnie's story in this episode... Lonnie left football practice in order to help with the turf war between the 110th with the Scorpions. During the fight, Lonnie saves Big Don's life, earning him the respect. And also, this is where he gets his code name, because Lonnie this whole time has been called Superstar, since, he's kind of a superstar in his school. Grades and athletics. But then Lonnie's just like, I hate that name. You gotta call me something else. What about Tombstone? Yeah, I kinda like that. Tombstone. So now we have Lonnie getting his code name, Tombstone. Gee, I wonder where this is gonna go. Episode 6. This episode was the one I was excited for, because you see the title, Duel with the Devil. Ooh. So, based off this Wikipedia summary, Lonnie is kicked off the football team as he continues to skip practice and school classes. Yep. Like, his Pearl friend girl, his girlfriend Pearl is questioning, like, what's going on with you, Lonnie? You're ignoring me, you're skipping class, you're skipping practice. But Lonnie just doesn't tell her. So Peter, thinking like, oh, maybe I messed up with Nico, because she seems a little upset. So Peter invites both Harry and Nico to Peter's place just to hang out for the night. Nico and Harry aren't exactly great friends at the moment, because, they kind of met abruptly. Well, while this is happening, while Peter, was given his night off and hanging out with his friends, Norman Osborn is visiting this charity event where none other than Secretary Ross shows up. So there was a pretty fun cameo. I think they discussed bits of the Sokovia Accords. Norman gets an alert on his phone that there's been a break-in at Oscorp, so he asks Peter to investigate. Peter reluctantly goes, but he still does. He goes to Oscorp to investigate, and who does he encounter? None other than Daredevil. Yes, he's also voiced by Charlie Cox. I gotta tell you, the entire show, to me, this is the best scene. Daredevil. The Daredevil theme that played in the background, masterpiece. Beautiful. Like, I absolutely love Daredevil in this show. I love Daredevil more than Peter. Daredevil has a black suit on, a stealth suit, which, you know, we probably are gonna see in Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Thanks to the leaks. We also saw the double D's on his chest. So Peter and Daredevil get into a little bit of a fight. Daredevil warns Spider-Man, like, Osborn is hiding something. And that's why he was sent here to investigate. So, Norman Osborn shows up after Daredevil has left. Peter tells Norman about it. It's like, no, this person probably was not working for Octavius because, you know, he didn't need tech. He is skilled with fighting. I think it was this scene where they discover who... I think it's this scene who they discover Norman Osborn's, you know, name. Like, he's the one behind it all. Because, you know, they also recognize that the unicorn helped to it, and now, it's this episode, now he remembers, it's Otto Octavius, a former comrade of mine. So, Harry and Nico try to be friendly, though it doesn't entirely work. But, yeah, Harry accidentally reveals to Nico that Peter is Spider-Man. Because Nico's just like, you're not Peter's best friend, I'm his best friend. We tell each other everything, we keep no secrets. No secrets? So do you know Peter's secret? Of course I do. But just to be clear, what secret would that be? You know, his secret. And then he just spills the beans that, you know, Peter is Spider-Man. So Peter realizing like, oh shit, I need to get back to my friends. He goes back, Nico's just like, hey Pete, get a load of this. Harry's saying that you're Spider-Man. Yeah, you're Spider-Man, and what, your Spider-Man suit is in your backpack? Yup, it is, and then Nico storms out upset that she wasn't told the truth. Then Harry's just like, I'm sorry, man, I thought she knew. Okay, so Lonnie, I can't remember, was he just leaving school? I forget what he was doing. Or maybe just walking back home, I forget. Whatever. Her name was Carmilla Black, that's it. Lonnie is tailed by Carmilla Black, so he makes a run for it. And dumbass heads straight to the 110th hideout. Leading her straight to where they, you know, where they hold their business operations. So Carmilla Black now knows the hideout of a rival gang, so she tells Mac Gargan, who, at the end of the episode, is being equipped by Otto Octavius with Scorpion tech. And that's episode 6. Whew, lot to talk about today. Wait, I don't Dynamax. Maybe I should have screeched again. By the way, how's the battery doing? It's fully charged. That's good. Alright, episode 7. Nico is still ignoring Peter as he tries to apologize over and over for keeping his secret. I think opening of the episode, Peter is trying to leave a voice message to try to apologize to Nico. Peter and Norman are trying to figure out Otto Octavius' location. They deduce that he's using gamma radiation, so they use that to locate him. Or at least they have that as a searching beacon. Harry decides to hang out with Nico and just Nico to try to, talk some sense into her and try to get her to forgive Peter. So, they go out for food. They drive around. Harry drives, but Nico doesn't. So, Harry offers to teach Nico how to drive. Eventually, they get into a street race. And they both thought it was awesome. Cool. Anyways. But yeah, also, Harry is trying to tell Nico that, hey, Peter didn't tell you because he's trying to protect you. His world is dangerous. He'll make enemies. That kind of stuff. Well, by the end of this, Nico and Harry consider themselves friends, officially. Alright, cool, anyways. So, Pearl basically, she got her... Pearl got Lonnie's brother to basically fill her in on what's going on with Lonnie. She follows him to, the 110th Street hideout. And, she's confronted by Lonnie. It's like, yeah, you're part of a gang? That's not cool, Lonnie. At the exact same time, the location for the 110th Street Gang is also attacked by the Scorpion, Mac Gargan. Well, obviously Peter finds out, so he shows up and tries to fight the Scorpion, rescuing or attempting to rescue both Lonnie and Pearl. But the Scorpion's too strong. Peter, in the fight, actually gets injured, like, quite badly. The Scorpion's stinger pierces Peter's chest pretty badly. Scorpion actually almost kills Peter. I forget the reason that, Scorpion didn't kill Peter and why he just left. I forget. But whatever. So, Peter's dying. Scorpion has left. So, Norman sends the glider over to rescue Spider-Man. The Green Goblin glider. Can't wait to see that in full use later on, eventually. Norman Osborn is also able to actually pinpoint, Doc Ock's location. He's not Doc Ock. Voice crack. He's not Doc Ock just yet. He's still just Otto Octavius. I hate the name Dr. Octopus. That's such a horrible name. I'd much rather Doc Ock. Oh, 3 more episodes to discuss. I'm still good on ores, right? Yeah, I still have room. Oh, we still have 3 more episodes to discuss. 8, 9, and 10. I'm kind of just speed running through these episodes, you know? Just because I'm trying to get all of them discussed in this one so we can talk about something else next time. I need to pour myself some more water first. I'm also not keeping count of how many checks is being taken to get Shiny Zygarde, unlike last time. So, yeah. Besides, it's not that hard to actually go back at all the footage and actually check how many times it took. Okay, so episode 8. So Peter almost being killed by the scorpion. He's actually at one of, Oscorp's medical centers, I think, being treated. During the process, we see, I think it was Norman himself, may have been someone doing it for him, take a vial of Peter's blood, which we don't find out what for until later on. So someone took a large sample of Peter's blood for something. We don't find out until later. So Peter is pretty beaten up. You know, he wakes up the next day, not as injured anymore, but still pretty injured. Because remember, he can heal fast. So he's just like, oh shit! Aunt May, I didn't go home last night. It's like, don't worry. I had Harry say that you slept over. So when Peter gets back home, Aunt May is understandably worried, seeing Peter, so badly beaten up. Peter lies and is like, it's a skateboarding accident. Harry tried to teach me how to skateboard, and clearly I suck at it. But then Peter breaks down in front of Aunt May. It's like, I don't know what I should be doing. I feel like I'm messing everything up. I'm letting everyone down. I don't want to disappoint you after everything we've been through ever since Uncle Ben. And for the first time, we see a glimpse of what Uncle Ben looks like. Sure, it's animated, and sure, it's just I think it was a picture on a fridge. However, for the first time ever, we actually get to see what Uncle Ben looks like. Vaguely, roughly. A rough idea of what he looks like. So, Aunt May comforts Peter, is like, you just need to do your best. And no more skateboarding, you're clearly very bad at it. So, let's see. Otto Octavius's warehouse shop, or place of, place where he develops all of his gadgets and tech to sell, gets raided, because he's being arrested. All of the FBI agents or whoever are trying to go in. However, Octavius is able to just command his devices and takes care of them as he tries to make his escape. Kind of Lex Luthor style. However, as he's trying to leave, who shows up but Iron Man? Tony Stark Iron Man actually shows up himself to arrest Otto Octavius. How did that happen? We find out later on. Let's see. This episode, Peter goes over to Pearl's house to work on an assignment. However, at the same time, she gets a phone call with Lonnie. They hear things out. They talk things out. Peter hears. And then, so, Pearl basically breaks up with Lonnie. And Peter leaves and tries to, Oh wait, it wasn't a phone call. Lonnie showed up. But yeah, they break up, but then Peter tries to talk to Lonnie in person. He snuck out by jumping out of a window. He talks to Lonnie, it's like, listen, man, don't do this. Lonnie's just like, you don't understand, I have to. Okay, so the, wait, is this right? Hold on. Yeah! Okay. I just had to make sure. Make sure I was reading that right. Okay. So the 110th Street Gang are meeting up with a certain someone to give them information. And that someone is none other than the Chameleon. So the Chameleon is letting them know about, you know, a particular abandoned warehouse of Octavius full of gadgets and tech that, you know, is actually powering up the Scorpion. And it's recently been abandoned because Otto Octavius has been arrested. So the 110th Street Gang wants to go there and get equipped themselves in order to have a fair chance against the Scorpions. Okay, so end of the episode. It says here on the Wikipedia page, Peter turns to Norman for advice, like without Uncle Ben. So Norman actually gives Peter almost a tainted, corrupted version of the speech that he needs to hear. You know, Norman's always like, because you're holding back, you're pulling your punches. The reason that you lost against the Scorpion is because he didn't pull his punches. He doesn't care if he kills you, but you care if you kill. You cannot hold back. You need to let all your strength out, because with great power comes great respect. That is the wrong message to be telling Peter Parker. So anyways, Norman leaves, Peter talks to Harry, they discuss it. Well, there's a situation going on. However, Peter's suit has been destroyed during his fight against the Scorpion. He needs a new suit. But, you know, all of the other suits that Oscorp develops suck, and he doesn't have a suit. Here's where Harry comes to the rescue, because he noticed Peter's doodles in his notebook about his Spider-Man design, and he secretly had a suit made for him. None other than the classic red and blue suit. Oh, I need water. Ugh. Let me just double check something real quick. Hold on. You know, yesterday I saw a house centipede crawling by. Well, now that it's springtime, now that it's warmer, yep, those pests are back. The house centipedes are already back. Well, the spiders are gonna come back too, and I hate it. Okay, let's hurry up and talk about these last 2 episodes so we can just get this show done with. Okay, episode 9. So the episode begins with Norman visiting Otto Octavius in prison. And it's actually revealed that it was Norman who is responsible for Otto being arrested. He tipped off Thunderbolt Ross about where, Octavius was, and it was Ross who called in Iron Man to help arrest him. So now we have the context for that. So we see the typical banter between, Norman and Otto. It's like Norman just teases Otto about being better than him and you are nothing, Octavius, that kind of thing, pissing off Otto Octavius. So the police are outside of Octavius's warehouse, confiscating all of his technology. However, the 110th Street Gang are just waiting to hijack the truck and steal some tech for themselves. The Scorpions arrive, including the Scorpion himself, Matt Gargan, and then there's a big street fight between the two gangs. So the boss of the Scorpions, the Scorpion, Matt Gargan, fights against the boss of the 110th Street Gang, Big Don. So the two of them fight. Big Don almost gets killed, however, he doesn't. But then Big Don is just like, screw this, I'm out of here. I'm dipping, and he runs away in fear. So I guess he has now been relinquished of his role, his position of leader. So, Lonnie is looking for something to fight the Scorpion. So he gets into the truck full of Octavius gadgets, looks around, but then he gets exposed to a mysterious gas, a particular gas. He breathes it in. He breathes it in, and then he kind of passes out for a bit. Anyways, of course, Peter is there in his new red and blue suit. He actually also saves, or was that the next episode? No, I think it was this episode that, yeah, this episode, Nico was nearby. She was about to get hit by the truck, but then Peter shows up just in time to save her. They kind of mirrored that scene in the whichever Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie it was, where Peter was upside down seeing MJ. So, Peter and Nico make up. They're friends again. They promise absolutely no more secrets this time, as Nico constantly looks at her own pendant for some reason. So, Peter joins the fight. He's fighting against Scorpion. Because Lonnie breathed in that gas, he now has superhuman abilities. So, Spider-Man and Lonnie Lincoln team up to fight against the Scorpion. They fight. It seems like they're getting the upper hand. However, these two celebrated too soon. And then, I forget whatever happens. Lonnie gets buried underneath a whole bunch of rubble. Peter, thinking that his friend just got killed, he takes Norman's advice and stops holding back. So he punches the shit out of the Scorpion, almost kills him, but then Lonnie shows up to stop him. Like, don't do this. This isn't right. You have to stop or you'll kill him and you'll go too far. So, yeah, Scorpion's defeated. Stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the episode. Let's see. By the end of this episode, the ending of this episode, episode 9, is where we learn why Oscorp has Peter's blood. It's because they're injecting it with other spiders in order to replicate Peter's powers. If they can replicate Spider-Man's powers and, you know, make a spider bite someone else to have Spider-Man powers, Norman Osborn can create an army of Spider-Men. But, you know, that's not entirely touched upon until probably Season 2. Alright, Episode 10, the final episode of Season 1. And this episode kind of feels disconnected from the rest of the season. Like, obviously this episode mostly just relates to Episode 1, but for the most part does not relate to really any of the rest of the season. Alright, so Norman reveals to all of the interns what their projects they've been working on is for. Something they call Project Monolith. So Norman wants to create basically a teleportation portal device. So they're about to open it to like a distant galaxy. Doctor Strange shows up, warning like, don't, this is dangerous, you need to stop. Peter recognizes Strange, like, wait, it's you. You're the wizard who destroyed part of Midtown High and caused me to... Well, he didn't say that. He didn't say cause him to get his powers. But he's just like, you. It's you. You were the wizard who, you know, during the fight against that alien, destroyed part of the high school. Doctor Strange didn't recognize him, like, what? I did no such thing. A part of me at first was thinking, is this a variant Doctor Strange? Like, a different Doctor Strange to the one we saw before? No. We'll find out later. So Norman is all pissed like, you destroyed the school. You feel good about yourself? People like you. Wait, this is spoilers. I still haven't watched it yet. Well, I'll talk about my opinion in the show afterwards. Anyways, yeah, Norman is all pissed like, you feel good about yourself? People like you with powers making messes for people like us to clean up? Well, screw you. I'm not gonna heed your warning that this might be dangerous. I'm gonna do it anyways. Turns on the portal to a distant galaxy, which, you know, was quote-unquote harmless. Just like, see? I opened the portal, nothing bad happened. And then a symbiote crawls through. So then, you know, Doctor Strange now needs to fight a symbiote alien. Everyone is running for their lives. Peter Parker disappears, but then Spider-Man shows up out of nowhere. So Spider-Man and Doctor Strange team up to fight the symbiote alien that just went through the portal. So they devise a plan. Because the symbiote damaged the machine that brought it here, Doctor Strange needs to stall it while Peter fixes it. In the little scuffle, the symbiote actually tampers with the Eye of Agamotto, the Time Stone, and the Time Stone affects Doctor Strange's portal, thus creating a time loop. The Doctor Strange fighting the symbiote we saw at the beginning of episode 1 was because of this moment right here. So, you know, the Doctor Strange fighting the symbiote then went to the past, destroyed part of the high school, and inadvertently caused the portal. One of the experimented spiders goes through and bites Peter in the past, giving him his powers. Now, if you think about that for a second, that makes absolutely no sense. Peter got his powers from a spider bite, and that spider got enhanced by Peter's blood, which had the powers. You know what I'm saying? Like, Peter gave the spider powers, which gave Peter the powers, which gave the spider the powers. It's a loop. If I'm not mistaken, I think that concept is called like a bootstrap time loop, where it's an infinite loop. One thing causes another, and that thing causes the initial thing, you know? So it really makes no sense. Peter's enhanced blood by the spider bite gave that spider the ability to give Peter the Spider-Man powers. That makes no sense. So, like, if you think about it, you have to question, so where did the spider powers originally come from? You know the way I think about these kind of time loops? So, you know, a time loop, think of it like a circle. It goes infinitely. However, the way I like to think about it, well, you draw a circle, you start somewhere, right? There's always a starting point, and then it closes into a loop. So the way I see it, original timeline, something plays out, and then events get altered to where the past changes, and then it becomes a time loop. Kind of think of like, you know, the Song of Storms. Where did that come from? You know, Link learns it as an adult, only to play it for the guy as a child, thus, you know, teaching the guy the song, who would eventually teach adult Link the song. So it's like, where did the Song of Storms come from? At some point, the guy had to have learned it differently, or maybe Link learned it differently. He taught the guy, and then the time loop began. You know what's one thing I would love to see that really has not really been explored in media? These kind of time loops, and showing us the origin of what caused the loop. I don't really see a lot of things explore that. Because, you know, it's like, well, sure, the rules of time travel are fictional, but, like, how exactly do you do that, right? If you travel to the past of a time loop, well, you're still seeing the loop. Like, how do you travel to previous time loops, previous timelines? How do you do that? Like, how do you travel so far back? Oh crap, that person didn't take Pelipper. We have no Zygarde. Uh-oh. Like, how do you travel to even before the time loop began to see how it originally played out? Like, how do you do that? Anyways. So yeah. We find out that blah 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 time loop spider gave Peter powers, which gave the spider powers, which gave Peter the powers, blah blah blah. Anyway, so we saw in the first episode, Doctor Strange pulled the symbiote back into the corrupted portal, you know, with the time stone. So they go back to our present day. They're able to stop the symbiote, however, just in time, just before a whole bunch of other symbiotes come through the portal. So they throw the symbiote, I don't know, praying mantis thing that we've seen back into the portal. They close the portal, and then once again, God, Marvel just loves this storyline. They really love the storyline. They close the portal, but one drop of symbiote gets left behind. They really love that storyline where it's just one drop of symbiote that gets left behind. They love that story. So, the day is saved. Yay. Anyway, so now Peter has reservations about Norman Osborn. It's like, damn, Mr. Osborn, you did something that dangerous. I don't know if I can trust you anymore, if I can work with you anymore. So he and Harry join together to create their own company. The company known as Worldwide Engineering Brigade, or WEB for short. And they recruit a whole bunch of young, talented minds, just like the interns that worked for Oscorp. One of them declined and is, choosing to stick with Oscorp. Cool. So, and I actually am not familiar with this character whatsoever. So it turns out that one of the interns, Jean, is actually the hero Finesse in the comics, if I got that right. And she was undercover at Oscorp in cahoots with Daredevil. So Daredevil and Jean are investigating something going on at Oscorp. We'll have to see how that plays out. Lonnie has now been appointed the new leader of the 110th Street Gang, and you actually see his fingertips turn gray, turn white. So he is starting to become pale and white, just like, Tombstone in the the comics. So Lonnie Lincoln is becoming Tombstone. Is it bad if I make this joke? Like, we can very clearly see that in this show, Lonnie Lincoln is a black character. However, is it bad? How bad is it that I'm making this joke? So, Lonnie Lincoln's skin turning gray like Tombstone, does that mean he loses his, N-word privileges? Is it bad that I'm making a joke like that? Anyways. And then we have the stinger at the end of this episode. Oh, look at that. It's Lipard regardless. Cool. Now we know. I guess Focus Sash because, no wide guard. Anyway, the stinger for the end of this episode, as well as Season 1. So, Aunt May says she has something to do, so she leaves while Peter and his two friends, Harry and Nico, are hanging out. Oh, also Nico, is doing some sort of magic with her pendant. She's doing some magic like, Mom, it's so great to talk to you again. So it seems like her mom's dead. Which is a very big difference from the main MCU, assuming the Runaways is canon. Because at this moment, her mom's not dead yet. Anyway, so yeah. So she's just like, yup, promise Peter, no more secrets. And then she, turns out she has magic abilities of her own. Hypocrite. Anyways. So yeah, the final stinger for this season and this episode, May goes somewhere. She goes to jail, not herself. She goes to the actual jail place, and she talks to a certain someone. She talks to none other than Peter's father, Richard Parker. Peter Parker's father, Richard, is alive, and he's in prison. That is a pretty big deal. So we'll have to see where that goes for Season 2. Oh, also one more thing that I did not expect to see in this show. A cameo from none other than The Watcher. Uatu the Watcher. we get a big pan out to the sky, and then we see the Watcher's silhouette in the sky. So that was a pretty nice cameo that I did not expect. So yes, we did see the Watcher indeed watching this universe. Alright, so I've basically given my very sloppy, sped-run summary of the entire season and every episode. Now, let me actually give you my thoughts on this show. It's okay. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's okay. You know, there were the woke things that they changed, like Norman Osborn being black, as well as the fact that not Kurt Connors, I think her name is Carla Connors, not only a gender bent, but also a race bent lizard. You know, aside from a couple of like woke changes, you know, Harry Osborn as well, all that's missing now is, let's see if Harry's gay. So looking past the couple of very obvious woke changes, how is the show? It's okay. Animation style is honestly kind of weird. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of this particular animation style. I know that they're going for comic book look, as if it's actually just the comic book panels moving. I get that's what they're looking for, or that's what they're going for. However, sometimes the animation style just felt cheap, and it just looked weird. So I'm not the biggest fan of the animation style. I did see some people online praise the show, kind of like Doomblazer, saying that, you know, this was Marvel's initial plan with Spider-Man, had they had complete control of the character and all of the IPs. If they were able to do whatever characters they wanted, Norman Osborn, Otto Octavius, Chameleon, you know, Tombstone, all of them, had Marvel been able to do all of that, this is what they originally wanted to do. Which it's like, yeah, I can see that. Anyway, so like, the show is just mid to me. It's okay to me. I mean, I'll still watch it, you know? But like, storyline's okay. And that's really the best I can give it. To me, storyline is okay. Art style's okay. So where would I put this in terms of like the MCU timeline? Or perhaps the MCM timeline, the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. Me personally, I would put this right after What If Season 1. Because technically this universe would not exist if not for the events of Loki Season 1. And then, you know, right after Loki Season 1 is What If Season 1, where we see the Watcher guiding us through these vast new realities that are a direct consequence of the first season of Loki. Should I even screech? Hold on, did anyone tell me to do otherwise? Oh. Golduck, Aquajet turn 1, Screech turn 2 for Zygarde. Oops. So I was supposed to screech. Oh my god. I guess I'll just Aquajet. This is bad. This is looking really bad. So yeah, I would put this timeline-wise right after What If Season 1. Because remember, What If Season 2 directly follows Loki Season 2. So, you know, not after that. So, technically, my timeline placement would go Avengers Endgame, Loki Season 1, What If Season 1, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 1, WandaVision. Okay, unless Aqua... Did I even land Aquajet yet? I think I did, yeah. I was about to say, unless Aquajet can deal the rest of that damage, you know? Anyways, after like over a month, I'm finally done covering this show. I talked about the first 2 episodes quite a while ago, and now I'm finally done covering the final 8 episodes I had yet to cover. There you go. Nobody asked for it, but hey, you're welcome. You have it now. I guess I'll screech just in case. I don't know what to do anymore. So that's only one of 3 shows I have planned to cover. Oh, gee, what a surprise. So, what other show do I have yet to cover? Well, just like me only covering a portion of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, I also only covered a portion of Invincible Season 3. So I still have all of those episodes to discuss as well. The ones I had yet to discuss. The rest of Season 3. I don't remember which episode I left off on. I may have only covered half of the seasons. I'll have to double check. Wow. What luck. I feel like wouldn't it make more sense for me to use Screech and Liepard to use Play Rough? Man. Haha! However, that's only one. Okay, it didn't knock any of us out. Great. Freeze, 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 freeze. Fuck! Same as before, I'm just going to, on the side, unplug. So that I can charge the 3DS on the side. I'm currently hunting Cobalion on. Oh, we actually got pretty lucky. Alright, let's see. No shiny Pelipper, no shiny Torkoal, no shiny Cofagrigus, and I'm going to leave this right here. Leave you in suspense until I get back from a bathroom break before we see if Zygarde is shiny. Okay, I'm back. I'm seeing one of the people actually got shiny Zygarde. Wait, no, that's not someone who was with us. Anyways, no. Okay, I'm seeing over here someone sent two pictures. There's only two Pokemon that this person caught. An Aurorus and Zygarde, and both are shiny. That is extremely rare. To only catch two Pokemon and both are shiny. Whoops. Actually, let me double check. How much ore do I have? Okay. Oh shit. So I just asked the host how much longer will this person be hosting for? And he's like, probably for a couple hours. We might be in this for the long run. Let's see how long I go for. Do I really want to go for another 4 hours again? Because if I do, that 4 hours will go to like 2 in the morning. I mean, it's not like I got anything else to do. But these days, I do need to wake up early to feed my dogs. Because, you know, my sister's in Korea, and normally they wake her up early in the morning to feed them. But now, I need to do it. You know, I feel like I'm going to turn this down 1. Wow, so I just asked these people, like, what time is it for them? The host and one other person is saying almost midnight. Which, yeah, it's almost midnight. Oh, well. I mean, hey, a person is giving me the chance to, you know, is giving me a free chance to grind for Zygarde. I may as well stick through it. I mean, who needs sleep, am I right? Who needs sleep when shiny Pokemon are on the line? Well, I've kind of ran out of things to talk about. I completely breezed right through all of the Spider-Man discussion. So now, I don't have much else to discuss. I don't want to start talking about Invincible, just in case, you know, anything happens. So I'll save the rest of the Invincible discussion for, you know, its own part. You know, last night, I wanted to record some more Breath of the Wild. However, I needed to clean my dog's ass, so that prevented me from recording more. What I did instead is I finally organized all of the goodies I purchased from my trip in Japan and Hong Kong. So I finally organized them as, well, let's just say it's half organized. A lot of the stuff is out of the packaging, let's say that. However, it's still a big mess on the table. So what I did was I just, like, you know, quote-unquote organized them and took a bunch of pictures because I wanted to post onto my Instagram story just how much of a nerd I am. The sheer number of, shit that I bought. A good chunk of the stuff I bought were Kirby stuff. Also, not as much as the Kirby portion. A lot of Pokemon stuff I bought. A couple of Zelda-related items I purchased. Surprisingly, like, not a whole lot of Mario stuff. You know, just not a whole lot of Mario merch to buy. So, the Minecraft movie is out, and I'm hearing everyone online who actually watched the movie say that the movie is bad. Not only that the movie's bad, it sucked. It was terrible. It's like, damn. You know, I wasn't expecting the movie to be good, but I was at least hoping for it to be, you know, watchable. Like, actually bad good, you know? It's so bad it's good. It's not even that, from what I heard. I'm sure as hell not paying money to go to the theater to watch it. I'll watch it whenever it comes out online. You know? Not a whole lot of movies these days that are really incentives to go to the theater. Like, a lot of movies just don't seem like they're worth going to the theater to watch. So, let's see here. About that supposed, you know, it's just an idea. It's nothing's confirmed. That, you know, idea of a live action, or not even live action, just a Smash Brothers movie. Let's see. We obviously have live action Pikachu. We're getting live action Zelda, or Link at some point. We already have live action Sonic. We have animated Mario. So, close enough. And now, with the Minecraft movie, we have Steve playing Jack Black. Is there anyone else I missed? You know, that idea of a Smash Brothers movie, just Jack Black in a blue shirt fighting a live action CGI Pikachu and Sonic. Next to whoever gets cast as Link. Yeah, not gonna lie. I would probably pay to go watch that movie, expecting it to be bad. Hilariously bad. Jack Black versus whoever is cast as Link, fighting a CGI Sonic and Pikachu. And I don't even know how they'll implement Mario. You know, wouldn't a couple of other IPs just be easy slam dunks as movies? The one that really comes to mind would be Metroid. Wouldn't that be an easy slam dunk for a movie? Like, wouldn't that be very, and I mean very simple to make? You just cast a white blonde chick to play Samus Aran. You either practical or CGI essentially an Iron Man suit. And, you know, it's just a spaceship. Outer space. A distant, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Foreign planet. And then you have a CGI dragon and just dub it Ridley. It's like, wouldn't that just be an easy slam dunk? Isn't that just a very easy concept to translate to movies? You know, space. Aircrafts, or, you know, spaceships. Already done it a lot of times. Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Wars. Like, why not make a Metroid movie? That'd be very easy. Like, it'd be extremely easy. I think it's safe to say that, you know, the Metroid fandom, the Metroid fans are starved. You know, how many years have they been waiting for Metroid Prime 4? Sure, they got Metroid Prime Dread to fill in the gap. While I may not be the biggest Metroid fan, I'm not a Metroid fan, period, because I've never played a single game, I would still go watch a Metroid movie. Be gone, bot in chat. You know, I kinda, once again, am running out of things to shiny hunt. You know, I'm currently hunting for all the remaining legendaries I never got in my Ultra Sun. I'm already up to Cobalion. So after Cobalion, I still have Terrakion, Virizion, Landorus. And that's it. Not Kyurem. I already hunted Kyurem many years ago. Is that it? Let me double check. Is that it? Yep. Cobalion, Terrakion, Virizion, Landorus. That's it. And then I'm done. So after that, not a whole lot for me to shiny hunt. I obviously have shiny hunts planned to, you know, make content out of, like on here. However, in terms of shiny hunts for me to do on my own, not a whole lot. And you know what? It might be nice for me to actually not have to worry about doing something, doing the same thing over and over in a video game for hours every single day. Maybe that'd be nice. But something that I could do, something that, you know, I don't want to do, but I still will. It's just a matter of how long will I put it off for. Completing the Pokemon Home Let's Go Dex for the Shiny Meltan. I do not want to play Let's Go. Those games suck. But, for the sake of completion, I'm going to do it. I really don't want to, though, but may as well get it over with, right? I'm not gonna lie, my throat is starting to hurt a bit from how much talking I'm doing. Because I don't usually talk this much, so maybe I'm gonna shut up for a little bit. I might be quiet and shut up for a little bit just to give my voice a rest. Oh, someone got it! Someone actually got it! Player 4. Player 4 got it. Player 4 got Shiny Zygarde. Player 4 was actually saying that he used the wrong Pokeball too, but it worked because he got Shiny Zygarde. Yo, congrats to whoever was player 4. He got Shiny Shiny Zygarde. This person said he used the wrong ball. He used a regular Pokeball. The hell you mean wrong ball? Let me guess. You were trying to use a Premier Ball? Let's see. So we now have to see if someone else will join to fill in, or if this will be it because we don't have enough players. Not gonna lie, I would not be mad if we end it right now, just because I gotta get my ass to bed. You know, I gotta wake up early. Oh, you know what? That reminded me. I had a strange-ass dream last night. It's not the typical dream I have of, you know, being late for an assignment for school. However, this dream did indeed relate to school. So this dream I had last night, I was at my high school, and there was a secret elevator, like wayside style. There was a secret elevator. And it was really small too. It was like a box size, a cardboard box size. I got into the elevator and almost like, you know, magic-like, colorful colors whooshing by, magic-like, it almost teleported me somewhere else. there were different options, too. There were different options on where to go. And I kid you not, some of the options in my dreams were Disney, Marvel, and I forget what other options there were. So for some reason, I chose Disney first. And it teleported me to a different, what looked like a different part of the school that doesn't exist. You know? Like an original concept for an expansion to my high school. So it teleported me there. And for some reason, when I left, my 7th grade teacher was there as kind of like a host to greet anyone who, you know, got out of the elevator. So I chose the Disney option, and it teleported me to almost like an outdoor, but yet still connected to the school, an outdoor Disney theme park. There were Disney-themed stores, there were Disney-themed rides, and not only was my teacher there, a couple of my friends were there. So we were kind of walking around a bunch of Disney attractions, going into shops, looking around. And I remembered, I was thinking to myself, why did I choose Disney? You know, given how woke they are. Why didn't I choose Marvel? You know, the thing that I'm actually into. Free DLC for the school. Like, if you remember the school, to me, I remember in my dream, the location of the secret elevator was next to the big lunchroom. You remember where the fire extinguisher was? That's where I remember finding the secret elevator. So yeah, just a weird dream. My high school had a secret elevator that teleported me to like a Disney attraction. But it was still in the aesthetic, still in the design of the school, but just outdoors. So I remember exploring around, thinking I should have chosen the Marvel section instead of Disney, and then, you know, dream ended. So right now I'm keeping an eye on Discord, seeing if we're gonna continue or not. Yeah, I would not be mad if we ended now, because I need to sleep. I don't really have anything else to do today. Or tonight. We went out for dinner tonight, so I don't have any dishes to wash. I already showered when I got home, because, you know, too bad you're hearing about this. Earlier today at work, I took a massive dump, and it smelled terrible. However, I know that I washed my hands thoroughly with soap. When I got out, I could still smell it. I could still smell the shit, and I'm just like, where's that smell coming from? It's not, you know, it's not coming from my hands, because I washed my hands thoroughly. Like, as I was bringing my hands closer to my nose to smell, it's like, is it on my face? Is the scent stuck on my face? Because, you know, I never touched my face in the process of, you know, sitting on the throne. And then you know, I was like sniffing my clothes, like, is it on my clothes? My shirt smelled fine, but my pants, I was like rubbing my pants, smelling, it's like, why does my pants stink? It's almost like my pants absorbed all of the scent, all of the stench. Eventually it faded out and then I didn't smell it anymore. Well, you're welcome for now knowing. Oh boy, this person is saying, after I do this Necrozma raid, I'll join. Not for myself, but to bring my luck. Oh boy, let me ask how long that will take. like, I don't want to be, like, calling it now. You know, I don't want to call it now, like, alright, I think I'm done for tonight, guys. You know? Because this person, well, this person just replied, I'll be there soon. Oh, just killed Necrozma. Never mind. Person's done with the raid. We went out for dinner tonight. There's a new pho place that opened right at work. So, you know, after work we went over to give it a try. And you know what? To my surprise, it actually has my mom's approval. For a long time, my mom and sister have been looking for a pho place that really captures that, you know, authentic pho flavor. We try place to place, and they're always just like, no, this place doesn't have that flavor we're looking for. It just tastes generic. It doesn't taste like, you know, it doesn't taste rich. It doesn't have that depth of flavor that we're looking for. Until this one, you know, my mom's just like, not bad. It actually has some depth to the broth in the beef pho. So, because my sister's in Korea right now and she can't be here to try it, we're going to try again whenever my sister gets back. You know, I texted my sister like, this place has mom's approval and she believes you will like it. Is the place good? Yeah, it's pretty good. It's decent, you know. Is the place expensive? Oh yeah. However, the portion sizes were huge, so, you know, the higher prices were kind of warranted. Kind of made sense for the portion that you got. Well, looks like we're about to do another. I probably should have used the bathroom again first. Ugh. I'll probably do like a few more and then call it. Alright, what's the strat for player 4? Okay, I choose Vanillish and I never swap. Okay, that's easy to remember. Okay, yeah, so I just texted into the group chat whoever's hosting this. I texted, I'll do a few more then call it because I don't want to stay up too late. Person's like, me too. Turns out that, you know, turns out that we're basically in the same time zone because he said it's pretty much midnight for him, which is the same for me. He said me too, but also says can't promise how many a few is this. What? Whatever. It's like he said I said a few more, but then he's like can't promise how much a few more is. I do Ice Beam. Remember how I said I'm gonna shut up for a little bit to give my voice a rest? I'm gonna do that right now. You know, I don't think I even finished my thought earlier. I said, like, I don't have too many things to shiny hunt on my own once I'm done this. I suggested that I would finish the Let's Go decks for shiny Meltan. There was another hunt that I'm considering, and let's face it, if there's a hunt that I'm even considering, I'm gonna do it at some point. And that is to go for a shiny Gardevoir in Brilliant Diamond. Why? Why not? You know, I got a shiny Magmortar for the Flame Body ability to hatch eggs faster. May as well use it. You know, I would not hate if I were to phase on a male Ralts so I can get a shiny Gallade. Obviously, if I get a shiny male one, I'm going to get a Gallade, and I would like my shiny Gardevoir to be female. Just an idea of something I might do in the future. By the way, you remember how earlier I listed out how all the shinies I've gotten on my original Ultra Sun? I've gotten most of them basically daily at this point. Well, aside from being very lucky, that's what happens when you're me and you hunt 24/7. Well, not 24/7, but like every waking moment. So keep in mind that I am intentionally basically shooting myself in the foot when, when I'm shiny hunting on my 3DS here for a reduced amount of time. Like, say, 2 hours every other day or every day. That's way less than, like, let's say 8 hours a day. And look what happens when I do that. I get the shinies right away. Instead of potentially taking 12 days like Mewtwo did. By the way, once again, wouldn't you think ice moves should have a higher chance of freezing in rainy weather? Because, you know, in the rain, the Pokemon is all wet and moist. So then ice moves like Ice Beam or Blizzard would freeze the water around the Pokemon's body, thus freezing. Wouldn't you think that makes sense? Higher chance of freeze in rain? I don't know if I should swap to the Expert Belt, just because once I Dynamax, I think I'll keep the wide lens. You know, use Blizzard until I Dynamax. The strategy does say turn 1 and 2 Ice Beam, then turn 3 Max Blizzard, turn 4 Max Blizzard under the Blizzard move. So turn 3 I'm Dynamax, use Ice Beam. Whatever, follow the strategy. Or, you know, follow it to as close as I can. But actually, no, that is right. Turn 1 and 2 Ice Beam. And then turn 3 is when I would supposedly Dynamax. Okay, so the instructions are Dynamax this one. So that way we activate the Hail to give a little bit of boost to the slightly stronger one. Okay. I would just Dynamax and only use the Blizzard one, but what do I know? Well, unfortunately, the ability is absolutely going to activate. Or maybe not. Buffered by Hail, take it out. Oh, come on. You see it's up 1 HP? By the way, when I came back from the trip, my friends came to visit me because they wanted to buy a whole bunch of League of Legends mystery boxes to get the figures they wanted. Well, I kept on telling them, boy, just buy the whole damn set, because that's what I do. Those mystery box things, I just buy the whole goddamn set. But nope, they're just like, nah, we only want the 1 or 2 or the couple of the ones we want. Like, there's a couple we don't want. And then, what a surprise. They pull the couple of ones they don't want. So, they bought a whole bunch. And because they bought so much, they actually gave me one. Just for free. So, thanks. So, my friends gave me this one right here. This box right here. Here are some of the options available. I don't know who that secret one is. Like, here's some of the characters available. The one that's inside this box is this one here, Oriana. I don't know who any of these characters are, except for, like, this one. I don't see Jinx on here. Oh, wait. I think I heard of Ari as well. So, yeah, they just gave me one of these for free. Cool, I guess. You know how much these things cost, by the way? Like, these things are expensive, too. While I don't know the character, and I don't really care for the character, hey, an expensive thing that I got for free. Cool. Regardless of what it is. See, I just opened the box to show you guys. See? Inside comes with this card right here. And then, here's the figure itself. Cool, I guess. Part of me wants to display this with, like, the rest of the figures I have, but then I'm gonna look at this next to all the characters I know, and I'm gonna think, who the hell is this? Alright, I need to pee again. Listen, okay, I'm talking a lot, I drink a lot of water. And what's so wrong with staying hydrated? Alright, I'm gonna leave you in suspense again, bitch! Nope, no shiny. Can I trade? Can you trade extra legendaries? I think you can. Ugh. I don't know how many more I'm gonna do. Let's see how much more this host will do. Hoping not too many more, because I would like to go to bed. I have room for like pretty much 2 more before I max out on ore. Okay. One person said BRB. Now I just have to wait until, you know. I would like to go to sleep because I need to wake up early. And I actually didn't get too much sleep last night, too. I wasn't able to sleep until pretty late last night. And then, what a surprise, I had to wake up early. Don't you just hate it when you just lie in bed but you cannot fall asleep? Don't you just love how the quality is super blurry right now? It won't even focus. Hello? That only made it worse. Oh, one person tapped out. The person who was player 2 for most of the time tapped out, said that's enough. I was about to text the host, be like, maybe one more and I'll call it. I think one person was on waitlist to join. We'll see. If this one person on the waitlist even joins, maybe I'll do one more. If not, then... Okay, the person on waitlist said give me like 2 to 4 minutes. Ugh. Alright, I just texted the dude. I'll do one more and then I'll call it, because, you know, it's almost 1 in the morning. You know, I technically still have energy. I could do this for longer. You know, I could go 4 hours again. It's just, I need to sleep, you know? Or at least I would like to get enough sleep for tomorrow. It's almost 1 a.m. You know, just a couple weeks ago, my jet-lagged ass would not be able to make it this long. Or make it this late. You know, South Korea, where my sister's at right now, is like 13 hours ahead. So almost being 1 a.m. here, it's like 2 p.m. over there almost. Well, life ain't going back to normal anytime soon. So, you know, once my sister gets back, she'll bare minimum need like a week to get past the jet lag. Anyone else wonder why it's even called jet lag? What a bizarre name. What a bizarre term to explain, you know, not being used to the different time zone. I guess plane lag or whatever else just doesn't roll off the tongue as well as jet lag does. Not gonna lie, I didn't expect to go 3 hours today, but it is what it is. I know there's one more person getting ready to do this. I know I said I'll do one more, but it's like, damn, I kind of want to just call it. Okay, the last person says ready, so last one. Ugh. What the hell? Oops. I think I joined online without anyone. You know, now I'm regretting agreeing to one more. Oh, this person's ending. Great. Okay, I'm gonna end this here. So, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time, and goodbye.